Welcome to another episode of the No Promises Podcast with your hosts, Shawn Stepp.
Can you hear my hair growing?
And Geoff Gregory.
Heinrich, run away!
Two fiction fanatics talking about games, movies, and comics, and whatever else pops into the conversation. On with the show.
They're doing something about Battlefront again today, Battlefront 2, and I saw some Darth Maul gameplay yesterday that looked sick.
Yeah, Darth Maul, that's pretty fucking
The presenters were talking about how fun he is to play and how mobile, but they didn't give him a deflect ability at all because they feel that he would be too unstoppable.
Yeah, so he's just like tiger form, like just straight attacks.
He leaps in, jumps, and like all of his attacks are like close range based, but like you can shoot him to death if you can get some distance.
That's pretty cool. I mean, dude, in Battlefront, I can't get close to anyone.
Like, I can't even play Battlefront.
Dude, I have to be so far from people, and then the blasters are so off too, just like everywhere.
I think that's probably one reason why I didn't get too much into Battlefront was the fact that like I don't know Star Wars guns.
Yeah.
I know real world guns better than I know Star Wars guns, so I don't know what to use, how it's gonna like behave, and all that. Like I can tell that a blaster is gonna shoot, but I don't know how fast or like what kind of impact it's gonna be. I would assume that a blaster would just kill somebody in one shot, but since it's a video game, it's gonna probably be somewhere between 5 and 6 shots.
Yeah, it takes a lot sometimes, and like all the blasters are really weird with range and stuff, and like if it's fully automatic, it's going everywhere, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, it's a cool game though. I got it because it was $20, I
may consider playing it just because I probably want to get into the style of play, because I do want to play Battlefront 2 just because it looks like they've improved on what they did before, because before I was more disappointed in the overall gunplay and DICE doing what they usually do, which is they kind of screw up enemy spawns, capture points and stuff like that. Their zoning is always kind of a little off, especially within the first 2 months, which is pretty much in the window that I played, and then I didn't want to play it anymore.
Yeah. I do like, I don't know, something about me, I like games that have, like, the upgrades and stuff on the level. Like how you can, become a TIE fighter and, shit like that. It's pretty entertaining.
So just, like, pickups in general?
Yeah. Yeah, the TIE fighter and, whatever, the T's.
They did say that they were going to take out the random spawn of them, so, like, before they would just like randomly spawn on the map, and then whoever happened to be closest to it got it. Yeah. Whereas now I think they want to have kind of set locations, almost like in Battlefield 1, how like if you can see the box so you know where it's going to show up, but you just don't know when.
Right.
So they're looking to do something like that, which could be good, could be bad, because you could just have the players that only want to use them just camping in that corner waiting for it to pop up.
Oh yeah. I mean, but you get that in everything. I mean, in Destiny, whenever, Heavy was going up, you got people sitting on the spawns.
That's
and
true.
Stuff, so...
And
I mean...
usually, camping, it's a double-edged sword. On one end, if the opponent doesn't expect to see you there, you can get some kills, but unless that person decides not to come and get you, they're going to just come back and be like, well, I'm going to throw a grenade or I'm going to throw TNT around the corner and just blow him the fuck up if he is there.
Yeah.
If not, cool. I get access to what I wanted.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's always what I do. I'm sure everyone does. As soon as you get killed, you're like, all right, I'm just going to throw a grenade in that spot.
Always go for the revenge kill.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the second one definitely seems cool, the second Battlefront. I saw like a little snippet of it. Of a trailer or whatever, and it was pretty entertaining. Yeah. But everything looks cooler in the trailer.
Always the case with E3. Now, they also are doing more with the story campaign, in the fact that they're actually including one this time. because in the last game, I never even tried campaign because I heard it was basically just multiplayer but with AI.
Yeah, that's what I noticed a little bit from messing around with campaign.
Like, it was, from what I understand, it was just like, do these challenges within this time frame before the enemy does this, and like, if you get that done, then you've won. And
yeah,
I wasn't looking to do that.
Yeah, because the first time I played like campaign or whatever, solo play, I thought it was online because that's basically how it was the same thing.
Yeah.
But,
they also said that they were going to make first-person shooting. Like, most people in Battlefront were just running around in third person, but now they're actually giving a benefit to being in first person by making your shots more accurate. So
that's cool. I mean, yeah, you don't hear that often.
Like, use third person for mobility, and then when you need to get precise fire on, you can switch it to first person.
That's a cool concept, I guess. I've never really thought of that.
Yeah. Basically like a more advanced version of hip fire and aiming down sights.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And well, we do got some Destiny 2 stuff coming up. I don't know exactly when they're going to announce the beta. I would assume that as soon as they have their presentation, which I don't know when it is, I should probably look into stuff like that. But when they have their presentation, I'm probably about 80% sure that they're going to be like, and now you can play the beta right now, and then they're just going to go live with it, and everyone's
crazy.
Just going to. Yeah, they're going to all freak out, and then they're going to probably try to leave the E3 presentation as fast as possible just to go play it. Well, they do have stuff on the floor anyway,
right.
So yeah, they'll probably have something like that. But it'd be cool for the people at home that didn't pay whatever amount it is to go to E3.
Oh, yeah, I could only imagine what it is to actually go there.
Well, now that it's actually open to the public, I mean, the ticket prices are still pretty high from what I understand. I think it's around, I want to say 300 for certain day amount pass, and then I think it goes up from there.
That sounds about right.
But at least now you don't have to be a journalist just to be there in person.
Yeah, I mean that would be cool. Maybe we should just pose as journalists anyways. Be like, hey, we care about stuff.
Yeah, I think you have to actually have some kind of degree in journalism to be declared a journalist. So.
I don't know, dude. I'm pretty sure you can just get that press pass, and you'll be pretty good for a little bit. Maybe wear a construction vest.
Yeah, like, I know where I'm going. By the way, where's this room?
Yeah, it's true though. You wear a construction vest, you can go just about anywhere.
Yeah, sometime this week we're looking to see Wonder Woman, because we're gonna hop on some kind of bandwagon and see what DC has said is the best superhero movie that it's done in, like, I don't know, probably about 10 years.
Yeah, I have to say I've heard a lot of good things though from other people that have seen it.
Yeah, a lot of people have been saying that it's probably the best. Well, I think it's the only. Well, no, I guess okay. A lot of people are saying that it is the best female lead superhero movie, but there aren't much to compare it to except for maybe like Catwoman or say. Can you even think of one off the top of your head within 5 seconds?
No. It's pretty much comparing it with Catwoman, and I mean, it didn't have much to do to outdo that.
Maybe.
I mean, yeah, that was.
I think anything Charlize Theron does is like, she's always going to be the most powerful female lead there is. Yeah. I mean, I look forward to seeing it, especially after watching the Batman versus Superman and not being very happy. Yeah, really.
I mean, it was cool. It was cool to a limit, but just like everything, we watch it and then we pick it apart. Yeah. And it makes it not fun for me anymore.
Well, I wasn't even sure if you actually finished Batman vs. Superman. I know you kept telling me that it was putting you to sleep.
No, yeah, it kept putting me to sleep, but I finished it. The whole ending annoys the living hell out of me.
Of course. because we all definitely needed Superman to die twice in one movie, and then have him move rocks at the end of the movie.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know. I definitely think that it was a flaw to have Wonder Woman right there while he has to use the kryptonite spear or whatever, when she could have just used it and him not die.
But we need tension, damn it.
But like exactly, and I'm pretty sure the Batman and Superman fight would have been a lot shorter. Anyways,
probably.
But it was cool concept. There was little flaws, like how did Lex Luthor know how to use Kryptonian technology? And that could have been solved by one line. Good thing I've been brushing up on my Kryptonian technology. But they didn't do that. He just rolled in and was like, I know how this place rolls. And they're like, what's up, Lex? No.
In Man of Steel, though, Lois Lane, she interfaces with the ship. And I think it,
recognizes human.
Yeah, it recognizes human as, compatible. And you would think Superman would change that just so that
that exact same thing didn't happen.
Do exactly what Lex Luthor did, which is make a giant Frankenstein mutant that.
And then a small little thing. If Doomsday did win, how was Lex Luthor going to stop him?
He had no plan.
He just released him. He just released him, and he would have destroyed the world, and there would have been nothing to rule. So there's a few flaws.
He's rich, though. He could just build a space station. Doomsday's not going to jump from Earth to the space station just to kill him.
Yeah, even though he could probably do it if he
probably
wanted to.
could, but whether he would, that's the question.
He's like, oh, I got this planet, whatever, I'll hang out.
What's that satellite? I'm going to jump up and destroy it.
Just some small flaws. Hopefully Wonder Woman doesn't have the same thing going on, because I will pick it apart.
I heard it was good. As the only complaint that I've been hearing is maybe the dialogue is a little exposition-y, but I mean, pretty much all movies are these days, especially if they're trying to tell a story without having to actually show that story. Well, they're going to have people talk about it, and that's kind of sucks, because I've seen a lot of movies lately that have no exposition, and yeah, you lose people at times, but sometimes if you just go with it, it's still a fun ride.
Yeah.
And I think Hollywood needs to not dumb things down, basically, just so that everyone gets it.
Yeah.
Then again, I've seen things where super obvious and people still don't get them.
Right. No,
I think it all depends on the person watching the movie. We shouldn't just make the movie super descriptive in everything that it's trying to do.
Yeah.
Plus, some mystery goes a long way. So.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, we do have a tendency to pick a lot of stuff apart. I mean, we watched the new Alien.
Yeah, we did see Alien. That was about. It was 2 weeks back.
Yeah. And I enjoyed it. As I was there, I enjoyed it. Later, you start, thinking... It was
definitely a better in-person experience, because afterwards I would review the movie in my head. I'm like, wait, why'd they do that? Then again, there was...
the jazz hands.
There was maybe... Yeah, the jazz hands. The jazz hands, not to spoil too much in the movie, but an alien does interact with someone in the movie. I'm not going to say who, but it imitates their movements because it was just born.
In a very weird way, though. I don't know.
It was basically trying to imitate almost like a toddler would based on its parent, and for an animal that has been designed to kill, as we've seen it so many times, that for it to suddenly act differently, it was very jarring. Even though it's a prequel, you never see him do it again.
Right.
So it's, I don't know.
It was
a weird addition.
As soon as it happened, I was like, that's kind of weird.
Plus, you know, like, they had, like, a set designation on their ship. Like, this is a paradise planet that we're going to go to. We're going to veer off course, though,
right,
to go to this other one just because it is extremely dangerous and full mystery. And we're going to put hundreds of thousands of people's lives at jeopardy just to check on something. When they could have just, I don't know, told another crew to go investigate it. Like, they had its location, so... But,
and the captain's like, I don't know why they didn't make me the captain originally. It's like, well, obviously you act emotionally and irrationally.
Yeah. Why did James Franco have to die just so that everyone else could?
Yeah, dude. It was sad because, like, you didn't even get to see James Franco. How much
I didn't even realize it was James Franco till he was already dead. I was like, oh, that was James Franco in the pod?
Right.
Didn't even fucking look like him.
How much do they pay you to just be the pictures in the thing, like the dude that died? Because there's all kinds of actors and actresses that are just the pictures. You know what I mean? In movies, how much do you get paid to just be that person that's already dead?
That's like a likeness deal. I don't know. That's probably like $500.
Because
whatever.
You can kill me as many times as you want and take pictures of me if you're paying me a good enough amount. But yeah, I mean, Alien, I think it was a good build on Prometheus, less of a build on Alien.
Yeah.
And
even though it had Alien in the title, which I think it did just to pull Alien fans in.
Exactly. Where, like, Prometheus people were kind of stupefied when, if they didn't notice, were stupefied about the fact that it was an Alien prequel. A little bit, you know what I mean?
People just going into a movie with no prior information whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean,
I could imagine them being like, what the fuck, this was an Alien movie?
Yeah, the first time I saw it, it didn't even hit me until the end. But I was like, okay. And that was when they showed, like, the half messed up, what was xenomorph or exomorph, whatever
they called that one the neomorph?
Yeah.
No, that's
that was the white ones, right?
Yeah, the neomorphs were the white ones in Covenant. Yeah. But in Prometheus, they called it the protomorph, like a
prototype.
Like a prototype.
Yeah, and I saw that and I was like, wait a minute. And it was crazy because I had not heard anything previous about the movie. Me and Cindy just both like sci-fi space movies. So we just watched it, you know what I mean? Which I thought it was actually a better movie before I knew it was a prequel to Alien.
Okay.
I could
see that.
Because I thought it was a standalone movie.
Yeah, a standalone sci-fi movie that had its own legs.
Right. And I thought that was a decent movie. And then I'm like, wait, damn it. You know what I mean? There's gonna be a lot of shit, and I hope they don't force it in between the two. And they're going about it all right, but...
Well, I mean, they might want to, if they plan on a Sigourney Weaver cameo, they may want to work faster than slow.
Yeah, they need to hurry that shit up.
Most recent thing I saw her in, I think it was like a trailer for something. She's starting to look like Maggie Smith, Professor McGonagall from Harry Potter.
Well, I think if they do anything like that, they would do like a Rogue One. With Carrie Fisher at the end. You know what I mean? Sorry if I spoiled that. If you haven't seen it now, fuck you. Don't listen to this show.
I want to talk about that. Because people talk about spoilers for Rogue One. You know it's a movie that takes place in between the two trilogies, right?
Are any of those characters in after that?
Either characters in the first trilogy or the last one. Like, I'm not talking about, like, the main characters from the other trilogies. I'm talking about these characters do not show up in either one. So, like, these are characters that you've never seen before, but you would assume that they'd have a place in the other trilogy if they survived. But, hey, spoiler, they didn't because they needed to kill off this crew to make it seem like the stakes were higher.
It would have been cool if maybe they told this story to have someone pop up in 8. But...
Oh, yeah, okay.
But other than that, I don't see much happening, and I don't see who could pop up, to be honest.
They did have a whole planet destroyed,
and they're ripping through people pretty good.
Most of them you saw get shot first.
Yeah.
So, like, if they survived a blaster shot, and then survived a planet exploding with no escape, well, look way worse than Darth Vader, that's for sure.
Yeah, right. But me and Cindy were watching it together, and Cindy is my girlfriend, for people that don't know, and we were watching it, and I was like, she's like, oh man, people keep dying, and I was like, you know what I mean, just a noise, and she's like, what do you know? And I'm like, I just know that none of these characters are in any of the other ones. And she was like, oh. You know what I mean? But Cindy's always like that. She's not one of those spoiler people, and I try to hold the spoils back, and she's like, just tell me, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna make you watch it.
Or you can predict the plot before it even happens. Like, say you have like no prior knowledge to a movie, and you're like, oh, I see this going this way. Like if they mention, say like a character, like, okay, all right, I'll use an example, but I won't say what it's from. When you see a character that is feeling that their life is unfulfilled, and a character tells them that they're going to die without honor, most likely that character will die in this movie, and they will die with honor. Just to discourage it.
Yeah, I can see that. That's funny. But yeah, I mean, please.
Is there anything else you're looking forward to this summer?
I mean, well, I haven't looked much into it, but I don't know. Movie-wise, I can't think of anything right off the top of my head, but I'm sure something awesome will pop up soon.
Well, there's Spider-Man that's supposed to be coming out at some point, because I do not remember dates at all.
Oh, yeah. I've been lost.
Thor is coming out too, which I'm pretty hyped about.
Yeah, the new
Thor Ragnarok.
The new Thor I'll probably enjoy.
I definitely want to see how that goes about.
Yeah.
It's got Jeff Goldblum, so you know it's going to be good. And I don't mean that sarcastically.
But yeah, Thor's. I've been lost on the whole Spider-Man thing. All right, as soon as they cast the dude from that '70s show to be Venom, I've been lost. Right. I know they did a whole revamp.
Spider-Man
I know they did a whole revamp series. I know. And Spider-Man was one of my favorite comics when I was a kid, but I just feel like I don't know.
Well, I guess Hollywood wasn't happy with Andrew Garfield's either his performance or behind closed door behavior, or whatever happened with the Amazing Spider-Man movie team. But I know he got replaced relatively quick, and well, Sony's not gonna let Spider-Man rest. That's for sure.
Right.
They had clear plans on what they wanted to do with Spider-Man. They want to do a Sinister Six movie. They're already working on a Venom movie. So they need Spider-Man to be in there so that people have something to relate to. And
right.
I'm guessing they don't want them to relate to the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man forever. And,
right, yeah, that's understandable.
Which is weird, because I'm always going to associate Tobey Maguire with Spider-Man.
Right. I mean, the first time I saw a Spider-Man that wasn't the horrible, like, 60s show that was Spider-Man was that, you know what I mean? So, like, I will always associate, like you said, Tobey Maguire with the damn Spider-Man.
And when I first heard he was cast for Spider-Man, like way back when, I was like, that guy, and then like he pretty much was the face for Peter Parker.
Yeah, he looks like Peter Parker. Yeah, just as the comic Peter Parker. I didn't think he would be a good
Peter Parker, but he kind of had the whole personality nailed down.
Yeah.
He wasn't as snarky as most people are used to Spider-Man being.
Yep.
But I feel like as a Peter Parker, he was a good one.
Yeah, he was a good Peter Parker.
I feel Andrew Garfield was not a good Peter Parker, but he was a good Spider-Man. Kind of like the whole Bruce Wayne Batman thing. Like Christian Bale, he's a good Batman, but he's not a good Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because like a lot of people thought that. People probably do still think that. I could be in a difference of opinion on that, but the Dark Knight series to me wasn't the epitome of Batman. I feel like I actually feel like Ben Affleck did a better job as both Bruce Wayne and Batman than anyone else has done. Now,
and
Michael
I thought
Keaton's
that was
good.
Not going to be the case. I
was skeptical too.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, dude, when I heard about it. But like, he plays the Batman, like the Batman that I think of. Like the older Batman that's just like, I'm fucking sick of this shit. You know what I mean?
Too old for this.
Yeah, he's the Murtaugh Batman or whatever. I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah. Except this Batman kills people with his car.
Right, which is nice. He's like, no, that was sandbags.
Well,
I'm like,
he
put a hole through it, dude.
Like in his chest.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Another thing that weirded me out with that was that whole dream sequence. Like, all right, now,
was it a dream or was it a flash
vision?
Interference into the present?
And we already know that Flash can travel through time. You know what I mean? So it's going to be really interesting to see how this like whole thing pans out. And I know we keep bouncing around on subjects, but it's fun.
Well, there's relation between the two medias. So we'll do it if we need to. If we reference something, we'll hop around a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like the Justice League movie will probably be pretty cool.
I hope it's good. I'm hoping they learned something from Batman v Superman. That you don't just have a whole bunch of dialogue and then one thing going on at the end of the movie. Right.
Right, and I don't know. Did you ever read that thing about how who's the guy that plays Negan?
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan. There's a theory on how Jeffrey Dean Morgan could play Batman. Right, because he already played Batman's dad.
Yeah, he played Thomas Wayne. Yeah.
Right, so he could be Flashpoint Batman.
That'd be cool.
If they did a whole nother series, Flash goes back, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It goes to save his mom, which the actual comic book story goes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he goes back to save his mom, and then he could actually be Batman, because Thomas Wayne is Batman, for those that don't know, and Flashpoint, because Bruce gets shot, opposed to Tom.
Bruce Wayne gets shot, and Martha Wayne, Batman's mother, she becomes a Joker analog, basically.
Right, yep, like a villain, weird.
I think it's because Bruce Wayne, Batman, from most perspectives, has been the one to cause the Joker's creation by knocking him over the railing at the chemical factory while he's in the Red Hood getup. I mean, there's been so many different versions of that, but that is usually the version that people relate to. So I can see that they made that different, because if Bruce Wayne Batman's not the one to knock him in, maybe Thomas Wayne didn't even knock him in and just outright killed him. So.
Right. Yeah, and
Thomas Wayne,
he kills people. He has guns. Guns holstered on his sides as Batman. Actually, he looks like a more badass Batman, I have to say.
I think he has red eyes.
Red eyes with the red bat on the chest. It's a little bit more intimidating.
He's more bat murder.
Yeah, which I thought was a really cool concept. If you're going to go back in time, you might as well fuck shit up. You know what I mean? You get the whole butterfly effect going, and you change anything, and who knows what could happen. So it was a cool concept to go back in time and kind of do that whole thing over again. Because you're so used to these characters, and it's cool to see a little twist every once in a while.
Yeah, it's definitely good to see a change of what is expected. Plus, it's just good. Like some characters, they get almost chiseled into your brain on how they're going to be and how they're going to act.
Yeah.
Seeing them change just from the smallest things being different in their life, it's pretty cool, and you can actually see that in how different people react to things, like just normal people. Not everyone's going to end up the same person just from the same event, so it's kind of reflective of that.
Yeah, it's definitely cool, because like when I was younger, I just read comic books, when I was a little kid. But as I've gotten older, I've respected the writers and how hard it must be to be a writer taking on a character that's already been developed for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years.
Like, you sometimes want to be the guy that breaks the mold, but I really doubt that you're allowed to go too far from it.
Right. If you do end up being that person, you could be loved or hated for doing the exact same thing.
I think Frank Miller's the only one that like gets away with it.
Right. And
but that's because he makes characters grittier and makes them more human.
Right. Yeah, I really loved. I read Year One Batman. I own that, the Batman Year One. And I really loved how human they made Batman. Like, his first attack on a person to take down a criminal, he messes up real bad and almost knocks a dude off a whole ledge, catches him by his foot, gets punched in the back of the head. Like, and the whole time he's doing the Frank Miller-esque in his head, dealing with this, like, oh shit, he just punched me in the head, you know what I mean, kind of. And like, after he takes out the three criminals, he lays on top of them and he's like, holy crap, like, you know, like, I gotta think about this next time. Like, he really humanized him.
That's an older Batman, right? So he's kind of he put down the mantle, then picked it back up, if I understand. So like, he wasn't Batman for a long time, came back, and then was trying to do what he used to do, but he's out of shape, more or less.
It was just pretty crazy. I mean, how they put the whole thing together. I mean, and then, you know, I read something like The Killing Joke, which is a completely written different Batman whatsoever. You know what I mean? And I don't know who's read it or watched the cartoon, but like, he respects Joker like you would think certain Batmen would, but then there's other Batman that want to kill Joker, kind of. So there's like this different kind of thing, like there's basically like I'll fuck you up Batman, and there's more to fighting crime than fucking people up Batman. And I feel like in The Killing Joke, he's there's more to do than fuck people up kind of thing, because like Gordon, who's not even Commissioner Gordon yet, he gets fucked up by Joker, and so does fucking what is his Barbara Gordon gets fucked up in that, and at the end they just kind of chuckle it off. And like that ending kind of fucked me up, but I mean it where, you know, you get like the Year One Batman would have probably punched his fucking face off, you know what I mean, at the end of it. So it's pretty weird how like different Batman can be written, but I could only imagine the pressure of having to write for a character like that. Yeah,
I couldn't do it. No.
And then, speaking of Batman, yesterday I heard that Adam West died.
Yeah, I heard about that as well. Basically, like, I opened up my phone at about 8 a.m. and I'm just looking for daily news, and I see that, and I'm like, oh, great, I'm going to hear about this for like the next 2 weeks.
Right. And it's it wasn't a surprise. He was 88 years old, you know what I mean?
He did good work on the old 60s Batman show. He's done voice work since. Oh, yeah. He was like the late 90s?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I loved Mayor West, too, you know what I mean? And Family Guy, that was funny, you know what I mean? But, if you called my cell phone right now, it's the original Batman ringtone, and I've had it for a while.
Like
So I'm a huge fan of Adam West, and I mean, if you called it right now, it would do it. But and I actually liked Cesar Romero's Joker back then. He was a really like weird Joker, you know what I mean?
Joker with a hidden mustache.
He had the painted over pencil mustache.
No, it was a full.
Yeah, you don't have it. Yours is different.
But like, it was a full like Magnum PI mustache.
Oh yeah, I guess it was. The white makeup
white
over
just right over top of it. Like no one would notice, even though like, you know, it's real life and not a cartoon.
But yeah, I mean, he owned that he was a goofy Batman too. You know what I mean? He was like, it was the 60s. You know what I mean? Like,
I think he was always trying to portray a comic book version of it, but since the comic book was like pretty clean, it wouldn't come off as anything else but goofy. But they played it up, and it worked out pretty good for its time. And I think until about the 80s, that's all people thought of as Batman, was this creepy dude wearing a cape.
Right, yeah.
And
then
Michael Keaton and
Tim Burton changed that, yeah. And I still have to say that even though I am, that generation, Michael Keaton and Tim Burton's Batman are one of my favorite, even though it is kind of cartoony, but that's how Tim Burton is.
Well, you know Michael Keaton's going to be playing the Vulture in Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, I heard about that. That's really cool.
Like, I imagine he's going to be, like, from what I've seen of the trailers, he seems more of a, like, criminal that feels untouchable. And I think that'd be really good for Keaton, because he's always kind of had, like, this, not necessarily greasy car salesman, but something close to that. Yeah. I feel like he melds with those characters pretty easily, just because it's more or less a character, and he's always been more of a character actor, so to speak. He's done serious stuff, but I feel he's more at home in those roles and comedic roles, so I could see this type of character being right up his alley.
Yeah, I love, like, kind of his like dark comedy-esque, like the way he is. Everything's really like, well, that's fucking hilarious, you know what I mean? He's really dark about everything, and I think he's great. And by the way, I think the Vulture is one of the worst villains that have ever existed, and I'm the Vulture, I can turn younger. Like, it's horrible. I have a suit of flight that, like, if you hit me with web, I'll fall.
One feather removed, and he's just done for. It only works as one whole piece. Yeah,
he's like, he's basically, like, one step above a dude that took an umbrella on a roof. It was the weirdest thing, I don't know. But it's cool. Maybe they'll do a cool revamp on him, make him a little bit badass. Who knows? Yeah. I thought they did pretty cool with the Rhino, making it like a metal suit and everything. That was an interesting twist, I guess.
Yeah, before it was just. It was in the movie.
Yeah. Yep. It was just.
Not gonna do anything with that, because I think they wanted to with Sinister Six, but if that even happens anytime soon, I'd be surprised.
I feel like with the old Tobey Maguire ones, they put a lot of Easter eggs in there, setting up a lot of new future movies that never got addressed. The Lizard was in there. His professor with one arm was in there and said something to him.
Like his human form was, I can't even remember what the Lizard's character's name is.
Right,
Dr. Connor.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And
I was like, that's a cool setup, because the Lizard was a crazy villain to deal with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Regenerative,
Well, since you didn't see Amazing Spider-Man, they had Reese Fonz play it. The only movie I can think of that you've seen him in is probably Little Nicky, where he was the Adrian.
Get in the flask, Adrian.
Yeah. He was that guy. So, like, think of like a British dude that is a little more
sorry, nipples.
He had a little more pomp to him, so like his Lizard kind of played out that way.
Okay,
a little malicious at times. But
it
was all right.
Yeah, I'll have to catch up, but I'm just sometimes I'm just like.
The first Amazing Spider-Man was okay. I feel the second one was a little unnecessary.
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx did a pretty good Electro, which was cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
The only thing I don't like is how he played the Itsy Bitsy Spider on a bunch of electric pylons. But yeah, it sounds as dumb as it sounds.
All right, cool. I feel like I haven't missed that much.
Yeah, it's probably better off.
Weird.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for our first podcast, which we didn't have any introduction to because we had to trick ourselves into doing it.
Yeah. This is a work in progress, and we will advance from here. So
hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. But
and we'll have more for you within the coming weeks.
All right. Take it easy.
Bye.